Hello, everyone. Welcome in on my sweet tea, and I'm really glad you're here. Let's take a moment to talk about what you're about to see. This is a challenge I set out to conquer, climbing the art ladder and working my way toward animation. It's been almost a year since I started, and I can feel how much I've improved. That said, I wanted to take a step back and recap my journey through the art I've created so far. What you're about to see is my personal character, someone I've been developing with a full backstory and growing lore. This video is my first attempt at drawing her completely from scratch, and it marks an important step in my progress. I hope you enjoy both the artwork and the story behind it. There's a lot more to come. And enjoy the video. There are stories of heroes, stories of monsters, and then there are stories of those who were forced to become both. This is the story of Dragoness. A soldier, a weapon, and a promise that refused to die. Before the war took everything, Dragoness was just a dragonborn with a purpose. She was born into a world already on edge, where tension between the races of Earth had been building for generations. Conflict wasn't new, but the scale of what was coming, no one could have truly understood. From a young age, Dragoness showed strength not just physical, but mental. Discipline came naturally to her. She believed in order, in structure, in protecting something greater than herself. That belief led her to the battlefield. It was during her early years in the military that she met Commander Briggan. Briggan wasn't just another officer. He was the kind of leader soldiers would follow without question. Not out of fear, but respect. He saw potential where others saw expendable troops. And he saw Dragoness. He pushed her harder than others, expected more, demanded precision, control, and resilience. At first she resented it, but over time she understood. He wasn't trying to break her, he was trying to prepare her. And somewhere between battles and brief moments of quiet, respect turned into something deeper, something neither of them ever fully said out loud. Then came the Great War. Not a single battle, not a single enemy, but a full-scale collapse of peace between every race on Earth. The skies burned, the cities fell, entire regions were erased. Dragoness fought at the front lines where survival wasn't expected, only delayed. She became known for her overwhelming combat style, heavy strikes, relentless pressure, no hesitation. That's where she earned her classification, Heavy Ordnance Combat Specialist. But even the strongest soldiers have limits, and hers came crashing down in a single moment. A mission went wrong, details blurred by chaos and fire, but the result was clear. Dragoness was critically wounded, her body destroyed beyond recovery. She should have died there. By all natural means, she did. But the war didn't allow for death. Not when something could still be used. The military approached her with a final option, the Dive Unit program. An experimental procedure. Untested, permanent. They wouldn't save her body. They would remove her brain and place it into something else. A machine, a weapon, a 30-story mechanized war unit designed to carry enough firepower to shift entire battlefields. She was given a choice: die as she was, or become something no longer human. And she chose to fight. The procedure stripped her of everything familiar. No heartbeat, no breath, no physical form she could recognize. In its place, a metal weapon, systems, targeting, arrays, and silence. At first, there was nothing. Then awareness returned. Not as a body, but as control. She wasn't inside the machine. She was the machine. Dragoness became one of the most devastating forces in the final years of the war. Entire battalions would retreat at the sound of her activation. Her presence alone shifted outcomes. She didn't tire, she didn't hesitate, didn't fall. But she remembered. Every order, every life lost, every moment of who she used to be. And through it all, one thing kept her grounded: Brigand. With the power of units like Dragoness, the war finally came to an end. Not with peace, but with exhaustion. There was nothing left to fight for. And for the first time since her transformation, Dragoness had no orders, no battlefield, no purpose. But she wasn't abandoned. She returned not as a weapon of war, but as something else. A servant, a guardian. To the Kite family, to Elia, the daughter of Commander Brigand, the man who once gave her purpose, and knowingly her heart. Now her mission is no longer destruction, it's protection. She stands quietly, watches closely, serves faithfully, not because she was ordered to, but because she chose to. Dragoness is no longer just a weapon. She's a memory of war, a promise kept, and proof that even inside a machine built for destruction, something human can survive. Hi everyone. I really hope you enjoyed her backstory. This character, she took a lot more out of me than I expected. When I first started creating her, I didn't have everything figured out. I had a rough outline, just a basic idea of who she was, what a role she played, and the kind of emotions I wanted her story to carry. But everything else, that came with time. And honestly, that's been one of the most rewarding parts of this whole process. I didn't sit down and write her entire story in one go. It wasn't something that just clicked all at once. It grew slowly, piece by piece. I would think about her during random moments, while working, while relaxing, even when I was supposed to be focusing on something. And new ideas would just show up. Little details at first, then big ones. Then the emotional core of who she really is. And once I had enough of that built up, that's when I finally sat down and started working on her design. Now, I wanted it to be clear. And once I had enough of that built up, that's when I finally sat down and started working on her design. Now I want to be clear. What you're seeing right now is still a rough design. This isn't her final version of her. Not even close. I'm still learning, I'm still growing as an artist, and I'm still figuring out what direction I truly want to take her visually. There are things I look at already and think, yeah, I could do that better. But that's part of the journey. Every character I make, every piece I draw, it's all progress. It's all me learning how to take what's in my head and actually bring it into the world in a way that feels real. And with her, I really wanted to get that right. Because she's not just another character to me. She's one of the ones that really sticks. There's something about her story, about who she is at her core, that connects with me on a personal level, especially when it comes to her loyalty and her love for her captain. That bond between them, it's one of my favorite parts of her entire story. I've always been drawn to the kind of connection, not just surface level. Relationships, but deep, unshakable loyalty. The kind where two people trust each other completely. Where no matter what happens, no matter how bad things get, they still stand side by side. That's what I wanted to capture with her. Not just love, but commitment. Not just connection, but devotion. And I think that's why her story hits as hard as it does. Because as much as I love that bond, I also made the choice to put it just out of reach. And yeah, that part hurts. It genuinely does. Because here you have this character who loves someone so deeply, and in a way, they're still there. Still close, still present. Close enough to reach out and touch, but not in the way she truly wants. There's this constant tension, this feeling of almost being together, almost being whole again, almost having what was lost. And that almost is what makes it so emotional. It's not a clean separation. It's not like they're worlds apart with no connection at all. That might even be easier in some ways. But instead, they're caught in this space where the connection is still alive, still there, just not fully within reach. That's the kind of thing that sticks with you. That's the kind of thing that makes a story linger. And I won't lie, when I was building that part of her story, there were moments where I had to just stop and think about it, really sit with it, because it's heavy. It's the kind of emotional weight that you don't just write, you feel it while you're creating it. And I think that's important. Because if I can feel it while I'm making her story, then maybe you can feel it too when you experience it. That's the goal, at least. To create something that isn't just interesting, but something that actually connects. Something that makes you care. Now, going back to her design for a moment, this is where things are still evolving a lot. I'm experimenting with shapes, proportions, armor details, and overall salute. I'm trying to figure out what really represents her both visually and emotionally. Because design isn't just about making something look cool, it's about storytelling. Every line, every shape, every detail, it should say something about who she is. Is she hardened by war? Is she carrying emotional weight? Is she still holding onto something soft underneath it all? Those are the kinds of questions I'm asking myself as I keep refining her. And I know I'm not there yet, but I'm getting closer. Every version I draw teaches me something new. Even the mistakes, they're part of the process. Especially the mistakes. So if you're looking at her right now and thinking, this could be improved, just know I'm thinking the exact same thing. And I'm working on it. That's part of this journey I'm sharing with you all. You're not just seeing the final result, you're seeing the growth, the learning, the trial and error, and honesty. Honestly, I think that makes it more meaningful. Because when she does reach that final form, when her design finally matches the version I have in my head, you'll be able to look back and see how far she's come. How far we've come with her. And that's something I'm really excited about. But more than anything, I'm excited to keep telling her story. This is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore, more about her past, more about her connection to her captain, more about the world she exists in, and the challenges she's going to face moving forward. Because her story doesn't stop here. If anything, it's just getting started. And I want to keep building this world, expanding it, bringing it in more characters, more lore, more depth, turning this into something bigger than just one story, something that feels alive, something that feels like its own universe. And I want you all to be a part of that journey with me. So again, I really hope you enjoyed her backstory. There's a lot more coming, more characters, more designs, more moments that hit just as hard, if not harder, than this one. And as I keep going, I'll keep showing you everything, the progress, the struggles, the improvements, all of it. Because this isn't just about the final result, it's about the process of getting there. So thank you for being here, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next part of this adventure. Thank you for watching, everyone. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And here is the final result.